Have you ever felt like, no matter how hard you try, you always fall back into the same habits, back into the same patterns, back into the same version of yourself? Like there's this invisible force pulling you back to being you, not the you want to become, but the you've been desperately trying to escape. Prison built by your own identity. But here's what nobody ever told you. Your brain isn't wired to change who you are. It's wired to repeat who you've always been. The truth is, you're not broken, you're not lazy, and you're definitely not weak. Think about this. Every time you say, "That's just who I am," or "That's how I've always been," or "That's my personality," you're not describing the truth. You're describing your identity habit. And until you learn how to break free from this invisible habit, nothing changes, no matter how hard you try. But today, all of that ends, because in this video, you'll finally learn how your brain wires your identity, why change feels impossible if you're ready to stop being the person who's been holding yourself back. Smash that like button, comment, "I'm ready" down below. Your thoughts create beliefs. Your beliefs shape your self-image. Your self-image dictates your habits, and your habits reinforce your identity. Then, the loop resets. And subscribe, because this is the most important video you will ever watch about change. So when you try to change your behavior without changing the identity underneath, your brain rejects it. It feels fake. It feels uncomfortable. It feels like lying to yourself. And then slowly, you felt yourself slipping back to the old version of you, because your brain is wired to prove yourself right. Here's the hard truth. Your brain doesn't care about your goals. It only cares about your identity. And the exact step-by-step process to escape the trap of your old self can change. Even if that person is miserable, unfulfilled, your brain would rather stay in a painful identity than risk the unknown. Here's how it works. Every time you think a thought, your brain fires a neural circuit, and neurons that fire together wire together. This is not motivation. This is neuroscience. This is identity rewiring, but with the exact neuroscience-backed method to rewire who you believe you are. Smash the like button to tell the algorithm this matters. And if you're serious about this journey, hit subscribe, because we go deep every single week. They never learn how all of these become comfortably familiar. So even if it feels miserable, your brain craves it, because it's predictable. If you can't name it, you can't change it. So grab a pen. Make it clear, make it ugly, make it undeniable, because the brain needs contrast. If you don't define the old self, it remains invisible. This is your enemy. This is the version of you that no longer survives past today. And write this question at the top of a page. Who is my old self? And build the person you were always meant to become. Or "I'm not that type of person." Interrupt it out loud, powerfully, and say, "That's not me anymore." When a neural pathway is no longer used, the brain literally starts deleting it. Then feel uncertain, because uncertainty is a bigger threat than unhappiness. Now, flip the page and write, "Who is my new self?" Start building it. What does this person believe? How do they think? What do they say no to? What do they say yes to? How do they handle failure, stress, and discomfort? Or setting your alarm name to prove it today. Part 1. The invisible trap you never knew existed. Let me ask you something. Have you ever tried to change your habits, your discipline, your mindset, only to find yourself right back where you started? And a week later, you're right back scrolling, binge-watching, avoiding, procrastinating. And the more senses involved, the faster the rewiring happens. Not because you're weak, not because you lack willpower, but because your body is addicted to your old identity. More proof creates more belief. More belief drives more action. More action reinforces the identity. And the old you can't survive this loop. Schedule tiny wins. Start your day with a win, even as small as making the bed. End your day by reviewing, "This is who I am now, period." You've only met the version of yourself that was built by your past experiences. Unfollow accounts that feed the old identity. Delete apps that pull you back into distraction. Remove environments that sabotage your growth. And cut ties, if necessary. with people who reinforce the old you. Daily actions, so deeply embedded that they become non-negotiable identity. Ask yourself, what does the highest version of me do every day? No matter what, ask, who was I 90 days ago? Who am I now? What habits match the new me? The truth most never hear. Let me tell you something most people will never hear in their entire life. You are not broken. You were never broken. You were simply programmed. What habits still betray the old me? Morning routines, training, learning, saying no to distractions, nightly reflections. These are not tasks. These are proof signals. Signals that tell your brain, this is who we are now. Burn the bridges. When the old identity has nowhere to hide, it dies. Hit the like button, not just for the algorithm, but as a signal to yourself, a micro proof that this matters. But if you surround yourself with people, content, mentors, environments that reflect your future identity, your brain adapts fast. Ask yourself, who around me represents the version of me I am becoming? And if the answer is no one, then become your own mirror. Flood your environment with reminders, books, podcasts, visual triggers, affirmations. Make it impossible to forget who you are now. Because here's the truth. Change isn't something you try. Change is something you become. Right, your name, no longer identify as old self. From this day forward, I fully embody the identity of new self. Sign it, date it, post it where you see it every single day. This is not a game. This is not optional. This is your life, your fears, your limitations, your traumas. But that version isn't permanent. And when you realize that, when it clicks, it feels like, oh my God, I've been free this whole time. How did I prove who I am becoming today? Maybe it was a diet, a workout routine, a morning routine, or a new goal. It worked for a week, maybe 2. And here's how. Stop feeding it. Stop rehearsing it. Stop identifying with it. Are you going to be a victim of your past identity or the architect of your future self? Why? Because the brain's #1 job is predictability, familiarity, survival, and nothing feels safer than being the person you've always been. And don't play small. You're not designing the improved version of your old self. You are designing a completely new operating system. Neuroscience calls this the identity loop. And it works like this. You are not what you do occasionally. You are what you do consistently. This is why motivation fails. This is why discipline collapses. Because if your actions conflict with your identity always wins. Think about it. If deep down you still believe, I'm lazy, I'm not disciplined, or I always procrastinate, then no amount of productivity hacks will save you. But here's the secret. Your identity is just a story you've repeated so many times. It became your reality. But stories, part 2. Why you're addicted to being you. You might not realize this, but you are chemically, emotionally, even neurologically addicted to being yourself. Over time, your dominant thoughts become your dominant identity. And here's the wild part. Your brain releases chemicals based on those thoughts. Worry, self-doubt, anger, procrastination, shame. This is why you can say, I'm going to change my life. Think about this. Your brain would rather feel miserable. But here's the good news. Once you understand how the identity habit works, you can break it and rebuild someone completely new. In the next part, I'll show you exactly how to break the identity loop. Not with hacks, not with motivation. Before we continue, if this is hitting you right now, pause, comment below. I'm breaking free. Part 3. The system. Reprogram your identity. Let's get real. Most people will live their entire life as a prisoner of who they used to be. Not because they can't change, but because but that's not you. Not anymore. Because right now, I'm handing you the exact system to delete the old identity. Step 1. Name the old identity. And now, answer it brutally, honestly. What are the habits? What are the thoughts? What are the emotional patterns? And what are the limiting beliefs? Step 2. Design the new identity blueprint. Describe it as if your life depends on it, because it does. Step 3. Collapse the old identity. Here's the hard truth. You can't negotiate with your old identity. You must collapse it. Every time the thought shows up like, I'm not disciplined, or I always quit. When the brain hears this enough times, it starts weakening the neural circuits that held the old identity together. Neuroscience calls this synaptic pruning. Step 4. Install identity triggers. This is one of the most powerful hacks that almost no one talks about. An identity trigger is a physical cue that reminds your brain who you are becoming. Examples: a wristband you touch every time you act disciplined, a phone wallpaper that says, I am not my old self, sticky notes on the bathroom mirror. Every time you see the trigger, it interrupts the subconscious autopilot and activates the new identity script, because the brain learns through association. Step 5. Identity stacking. Here's where it gets exponential. Every time you do something aligned with your new identity, you stack proof. But here's the secret. Don't wait for motivation. Design proof on purpose. Make it automatic. This creates a feedback loop. The shift happens here. Let me tell you something. There is no future version of you coming to save you. It's you, right now, deciding, because the truth is, you've never actually met the real you. Part 4. Lock it in. Becoming unstoppable. There's something powerful about crossing a point of no return. A moment where you stop negotiating with your old self. You stop waiting, hoping, trying, and you simply decide. And that is how you become unstoppable. Locking it in. Making the new identity permanent. Step 1. Burn the bridges. You cannot leave the back door open. If you're serious, if this is real, you must eliminate the escape routes back to the old self. Step 2. Identity contracts. Write a contract with yourself, literally, on paper. Step 3. Rituals of the new identity. High performers, world-class achievers. They don't rely on willpower. They rely on rituals. Step 4. Surround yourself with mirrors. If you surround yourself with people who reflect your old identity, your brain defaults back. Step 5. Identity audit. The 90-day rule. Here's the final step. Set a 90-day checkpoint. Every 90 days, audit your identity. This process compounds. Every 90 days, you become a stranger to who you were before. Programmed by childhood, society, trauma, repetition. But here's the truth that breaks the entire game open. If you were programmed, you can be reprogrammed. And the person you were always meant to be, the one hidden behind the noise, behind the doubts, behind the habits, that person is waiting for you. Become the architect of you. If this video woke something up inside you, don't let it fade. Comment below, I'm the architect of my life, and subscribe. Because this is not the end. This is the beginning of who you were always meant to become. Just a bit. One habit can change everything.